What's going on? The Ape Coach from Six Pack Gaming, where we bring you the best play to earn NFT games and new metaverse projects. Now today we have another update on Pegaxy. A whole lot has happened and a whole lot is coming up in this next week. So today we're going to be talking about the PGX, the price pump. We're going to be talking about the game launch coming up in less than a week. You want to be prepared for it, the open marketplace, breeding, a whole bunch of stuff. So make sure you smash that thumbs up button, make sure you're subscribed and you got the notifications on. Now let's dive right into it. First up, we had the Pega minting event, which was on Sunday. I wanted to get out a video before that, but I just, there was too many things on the go, so I wasn't able to get one up before then. But it was basically first come, first serve. The sooner you minted your actual Pega from your ticket, the sooner or the lower minting number you got for your Pegas. So now I was trying, like the best that I could. I was like sitting there ready, had the page refreshed. I was like, had my finger on the mouse and I was like ready to go. The split second it was available. It didn't actually end up allowing you to mint though until like a couple minutes past the thing. So the lowest I got was 583. That's my first Pega here, the APEcoach Pegasus, a female. And then I was actually super lucky. I got a female and a male, exactly what I wanted. And this guy, I think, is going to be my bread maker. These stats are insane. 9 speed, 8 strength, 8 lightning, 7 water. Wind and fire will be this thing's only weakness, but this guy is an absolute beast. So I'm pumped about that. Looks sweet. And like, man, these NFTs are some of the best looking NFTs I've seen. So I'm super pumped that I was able to get a male and female. I hope you guys were able to get, whatever you were hoping to get. If not, there is going to be trading and all that stuff opening up very soon. Okay. But before we get into that, I've got to talk about PGX, the Pegaxy Stone coin. This thing has skyrocketed. Okay, the IDO price that I was able to buy for, and many of us were able to buy for, was 2 cents. You can see it is over 12 times that now. So I am up quite a lot right now. So I'm up about 12x from my initial sort of investment with that. But you will see here, if we zoom out, this actually isn't showing the full price that it got up to. This pumped all the way up to $1.20 before it started coming back down. So if you were to compare that to the IDO price at 2 cents, all the way up to $1.20, that is a 60x. Okay, 60 times the price of the coin. And yeah, it's absolutely insane. And I really think once the game launches and once we start getting into it and people start using PGX for breeding and all that, we can easily reach that all-time high again. And I think we'll smash through it. I think we'll be approaching $2 plus. And who knows? It's the same sort of supply as Axie Infinity. So if this game catches on and it's executed well and the player base floods in, we could see some sort of insane price pump like Axie, where it goes, Axie's at like $150. I don't even know how many X's that is on the coin, but it would be life-changing for sure. With that being said, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Please do your own research, make your own financial decisions, take responsibility for that. But let's look at this right here. You can see we are on a very strong uptrend with PGX again. I think everyone's starting to prepare and get ready for the game launch. So the game launch is going to be coming up on November the 15th. Okay, so that is going to be next Monday, the 15th, which I'm actually pumped about. My birthday is actually November 14th. So what a birthday present. We get to play the game and kind of launch everything off the day after. So I'm pumped about that. But you can see, like, just looking at the price action of the coin here, we've got a strong uptrend. If I was able to draw some lines, this would be the trend line here. We don't really have any resistance all the way up until about 27 cents. So I'm expecting over the next day or night or so that this is going to continue pumping up to about 27 cents. The alternative is this is kind of forming a nice little like cup and handle sort of situation here. So we could see a little bit of an accumulation phase back down to like the 22 to 23 cent level, and then like a crazy spike up. But time will tell, right? But I think as we get closer to the game launch and people start breeding and all that, we're just going to see this continue to climb. So I'm super pumped about that. And I actually have not sold one single coin since the IDO. Okay, I could easily recoup my entire investment, the cost of my NFTs, the cost of the coins that I paid, and still have a bunch left over for breeding and all that. But I am personally very bullish on this project, and I think there's a whole lot more upside to come. So I am holding, I am hodling. All right, so let me know what you guys are doing too. If you guys are holding on, what you guys think will happen with PGX, what you guys are expecting for the game launch, leave a comment down below and let me know what your sort of stance is on that. I'm excited to see that. So we've got PGX is pumping. This chart right here, the 24 hours just looks like a rocket. It's going to the moon. So that is amazing. And that is because, like I said, the game is going to be launching on November 15th. Okay, so Corey actually said, so if you don't know, Corey is a co-founder and the CMO, the chief marketing officer for the game here for Pegaxy. And he said that the game is looking like it would be ready for this Friday to launch, right? Which would be the 12th. But they said, the longer they have to test things, the more they're able to, make sure everything is working 100%. That's what they want to do. The execution of everything so far with this game has been the smoothest of any play to earn NFT game that I've, been a part of, that I've been into, and I've been in a lot, right? I probably have over a dozen on the go right now. And yeah, this by far, and this early in these early stages, the initial NFT launch, the initial distribution or DEX offer with the coin, everything has been the smoothest of any game that I've been in. So I'm super excited about that. And you can tell that they've had this stuff prepared, like they have everything prepared well in advance of when the actual release dates are. And they've tested it and tested it and tested it. And that's what they're doing with the launch of the game as well, because they want everything to function, as well as it possibly can, everything to be going the way it's supposed to. And so I'm super, super glad to see a team, being that professional and taking that time and just making sure. So many of these games, I feel like the teams are just trying to, keep active, and so they're just pushing things out before they've had any chance to test them, or they've done like one single test and they're like, yeah, okay, it worked for me, so it's got to work for everyone else. And then it's a disaster when it goes out. So I'm so happy to see that they are taking their time with things, and I mean, they are moving super fast. They are getting things done extremely quickly, but they're not rushing things. All right, so they're making sure everything's prepared, everything is functioning the way it's supposed to, and then, they're giving it everything they've got. Now, let's talk about what is the beta going to look like. So these are going to be all the features, which is amazing to see all these things already being implemented. So we've got racing, we've got trading, we've got renting, we've got breeding, and we have the secondary marketplace where you guys are going to be able to buy additional Pegas. As you know, the whole founding Pega sale sold out in minutes, and so right now there's nothing available to buy unless you go to OpenSea here, and you can see the floor price right now for the cheapest Pega is 0.134 ETH, which at the current price is $630 US. And that's only one or two of them, and then it goes up to 0.14, 0.15. So right now they're pretty pricey, all right? But in order to, I think, help boost the economy and the player base, and to make the barrier to entry a little bit lower for people coming into the game for the first time or wanting to get into the game that haven't been able to buy in the initial sales. They are actually having a massive breeding event, which is going to just explode the population of Pegas. It is going to flood the marketplace with new Pegas that you're going to be able to buy. And I think with the breeding event, with, you know, how many Pegas are going to be flooding the market, it's going to bring that floor price down for these Pegas. Now, obviously, you're not going to be able to buy the founding Pegas, most likely, for cheaper than this, because those founding Pegas are the only Pegas that can breed legendary level Pegas. And so there's kind of like a breeding tier system that we'll go through when we sort of talk about the breeding. But so you're probably not going to be able to get one of the founding ones for cheaper than this like $700 price range. So keep that in mind. But you will be able to get some of the Pegas that come from the breeding, some of the offspring that people are reselling on the market, and I think they're going to be quite a bit cheaper than this. I can't really predict what sort of price they would be, but if I were to like guess some numbers, I would say maybe a Zan, which is like the lowest rarity, or the lowest bloodline, would be maybe around 250, something like that, and then the Clin would probably be like 400, 500, and then you have the Camponas, which would probably be like 800 to 1,000, and then you have the Haws, the top dogs. Those are probably going to be $2,000 plus, regardless. But it's still bringing that barrier to entry down. You're going to be able to get into the game for a reasonable cost. Just to touch on the secondary market there, so it's going to be in the game here, the marketplace, and you're going to be able to buy in here. Now, you don't actually have to pay with PGX in the secondary market right away. You can actually pay with either PGX, Matic, or USDT, so US Tether, right? And the reason that they did that, Corey explained, was that they didn't want to create a ton of selling pressure for PGX, because I think he said there's a 3% fee on all of the marketplace sales. And so if their only income coming to the studio, to the development team, because those 3%, that 3% fee goes to the development team for Pegaxy, so they can continue to develop the game and produce something really high quality that's going to be, sustainable long term. It's going to be a great game for people to play, and it's going to, last. But if their only funds were coming in PGX tokens, they would have to, utilize some of those to continue developing the game. So they'd have to sell some of those. So in order to prevent that, they're offering the marketplace to, they're offering you to buy in the marketplace with USDT, with Matic, or with PGX. So they're hoping that the USDT and Matic that have higher liquidity, they'll be able to use those if they need to, fund further development of the game. They're going to do everything they can to preserve PGX and not, affect the coin price of that, and use like the USDT and Matic. So that is the only reason, which I was glad he kind of explained that, because personally I was like, well, why wouldn't you have everything in the marketplace be PGX? Because then it forces people to buy more PGX if they want to buy in the marketplace, and that'll pump the price up. But it makes sense, if they're still utilizing the funds, or sorry, the fees from the marketplace to develop the game further, we don't want the devs to have to sell the native token, the governance token, in order to fund further development of the project, because then that creates all types of FUD and all this stuff, right? And then people are like, oh, the devs are selling, they're abandoning the project and whatever. No, like they're trying to build something that's worthwhile, right? Like, I think this has potential to compete with things like Axie Infinity and all of that, and I think we're going to see so many games overtake Axie Infinity in years into the future. So you know, it makes sense to me. So I was glad he explained that. And if you guys want to hear, you know, his explanation of everything, you know, hats off to him. Corey has done an amazing job with all of the YouTube videos and the content that they've been putting out on the official Pegaxy YouTube channel here. So I'll actually like link this video down in the description below. You can also find it on their Discord. But yeah, Corey's done an amazing job with all the content that they've been putting out on their official pages and stuff. Very informative, very, you know, straightforward and stuff. Very good delivery. So, you know, shout out to Corey and the team. They're doing some good stuff here. Now, let's move on to breeding. So there is going to be this massive breeding event. All right, so we keep talking about this. And here is going to be the deal. All right, so happy days, we will have a breeding event for 2 weeks starting on November 15th. So that's next Monday coming up. And rather than the traditional breeding cost, which was, I believe it was like 1,000 vis, then 2,000, then 4,000, then 16, then, you know, it just kind of like exponentially increased, and the PGX cost was 500. They've wiped out vis, and they made it so it's only going to cost 50 PGX for breeding during this 2 week period from the 15th to the 29th. So that is huge. Okay, so that is why there's going to be such an explosive growth in the population in Pegas during this 2 week period. Essentially, they've taken the cost of breeding and they've slashed them to, you know, less than 10% of what they were originally stated in the white paper. And now he did acknowledge this will change after the 2 week period. So this is not going to be the cost, you know, moving forward. But the reason that they did this is because Vis is only minted once every 2 weeks, or I believe every 15 days after you've played the game, and you can only get Vis from playing the game and placing top 3 in the races, right? So there's actually not going to be any Vis at the game launch, so it would be impossible for people to breed with that being a fee, because no one's going to have Vis for the first 2 weeks of the game, and then any Vis that is used in breeding is just burned. Okay, so the only way that this token is generated or minted is through winning races, and then anytime it's used for breeding, it is going to be burned. And so for this 2 week period, this is wiped out because it's not going to exist yet, which makes sense. And then they acknowledged that the price that they had originally set for PGX at 500, they said they might have done that a little bit too early because they weren't sure, you know, how expensive the cost of PGX would get. And so they said they're going to reevaluate after this 2 week period, and this will be adjusting, you know, whatever the cost will be. They'll be able to determine that a little bit better once they see, you know, how the price of PGX is affected, right? Because if this pumps up to $2 and they still had it at 500 PGX per breed, that would cost $1,000 plus the Vis token every single time you wanted to breed. So like the cost of breeding would be insane, right? So they're going to be adjusting that based on, you know, sort of price expectations of PGX and that sort of thing. So that is something that will change, but this is going to be huge for the first like couple weeks of this game. And I actually worked out with my 2 Zans that I have. I typed up some notes, or not really notes, but I calculated basically how many breeds I could get out of my 2 Zans in this 2 week period. If we look at this is in the white paper here under breeding, this is the cooldown guide for breeding the Pegas. Now the Haws only have a 24-hour cooldown period for breeding. Campona 48, Clin 72, Zan 96, so 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day. And all baby Pegas though, so all the offspring from these have a 96-hour wait time, so that's going to be a 4-day wait time regardless of whatever, you know, bloodline is being bred. That being said though, these like founding Haws are going to be able to breed every single day, so they're going to be able to basically max out their breeds if they want to, if they have 2 founding Haws. And then they'll just have to wait 4 days until those babies can be bred again, sort of thing. But because I only have 2 Zans, and I feel like, you know, most people if you got multiple, you probably have like 2 Zans or 2 clans or whatever. So I worked out the numbers for the Zans. This is basically what the schedule will look like during that 2-week period. So on the 15th, right away, you can breed 1 and 2. You get a third. On 4 days later, you have 1 and 2. You can breed again. You could swap in 3, but it's better to stick with the founding ones. So you're getting another legendary. So then you'll have 4 at the end of the 19th. Then after those 4 days, finally on the 23rd, you'll be able to breed 1 and 2 once again to get 5, 3 and 4 to get 6. So you'll be at 6 total. Wait 4 days once again, and then you'll be able to breed all 3 of those pairs. So 1 and 2 is 7, 3 and 4 is 8, and 5 and 6 is 9. So, right before the end of the 2-week breeding event, if you have 2 Zans, you'll be able to basically breed another 7, so you'll have a total of 9 by the end of the event. And then obviously the following week, you're going to have 4 pairs to breed, so then you'll be able to get an additional 4 Pegas, and it'll kind of keep expanding from there. But that is essentially how the breeding would look with 2 Zans during that period. And then if you want to calculate it for whatever ones you have, you can kind of run through the numbers. It's not that tough. You just kind of mark down the date that you can breed. If you were looking at the 2 Hawses, for example, it'd be November 15th 1 and 2, November 16th you could already do 1 and 2 again to get your 4, and then November 17th you could do 1 and 2 again to get 5. Okay, and then it would still take until the 19th, and then at the 19th you would be able to, or I guess you'd have to wait till the 20th, because it'd have to be 4 days after this. But on the 20th, then you'd be able to breed like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then like every day after that, or every 2 days after that, you'd be able to breed another pair, essentially. So basically, if you have a Haws, you're going to be able to breed a whole lot more, a whole lot quicker than everyone else. Or an explanation of like how this works here. So if you breed 2 foundings, you get a legendary. If you breed 2 legendaries, you get an epic. If you breed a founding with a legendary, you get an epic. Or if a founding with a legendary, you get epic. So it makes sense to breed as many founding pairs as you can to get as many legendaries as possible. And then from there, you're gonna breed legendaries with another legendary, because you still get an epic. It really doesn't make any sense to breed a legendary with a founding, because you still get an epic. So it'd be the same as if you were to breed legendary with legendary. And then it just kind of like goes down from there, right? So legendary, epic, rare, pacer, right? So that is basically how the breed types will play out. And I believe the stats will kind of decrease with the lower type of breed that they are. And then this is basically the bloodline. Essentially, whatever the lowest bloodline is that you're breeding with, that is going to be the dominant bloodline. So even if you breed a Haws with a Zan, it's always going to be a Zan. If you breed a Haws with a Kiln, it's always going to be a Kiln. And so yeah, whatever the lowest bloodline is that you're breeding with, the offspring is always going to be that breed. Okay. And that is essentially how breeding works. So I'm pumped about this breeding event. I'm going to take full advantage of that and breed, the full 9 that I can. And who knows, depending on the price on the market, hey, maybe we'll scoop up some more and we'll keep breeding even more. All right. And that is all to prepare for the renting. Okay, so if you guys are wanting to play this for free, or you don't have the money, upfront to invest to get into this, but you still want to be able to play and earn, we are going to be doing a scholarship program for 6-Pack Gaming. All right, so I will link the Discord down below. If you guys are interested, you can simply join the Discord here, go to the Pegaxy channel, and there is an application form here for Pegaxy scholarships. All you do is you click into this. It'll bring you to a nice little form here you can fill out, and that will give us all the info to evaluate if you're a good fit for the guild. All right, so if you guys are interested in the scholarship program, be sure to join the 6-Pack Gaming Discord, and all you got to do is fill out this application, and that will enter you in, and we will be reviewing all of those and selecting you know, as many as we'll need to kind of fill our roster as soon as possible. And then, you know, as we continue to breed more and more, we'll gradually build out the scholarships and offer those to additional scholars as well. All right, that is almost everything, but one last thing I wanted to go over before kind of wrapping this up is how the beta gameplay is actually going to look. It's going to be very similar to this. So it's going to be a very basic sort of starter rudimentary phase where it's all going to be 2D. And they've stated that your current stats of your Pegas don't have any real effect on the outcome of these races initially. Okay, so right off the get-go, it's literally going to be just 100% RNG, a random roll of the dice. If you happen to place top 3, you win the vis. If you don't, then you don't, and then you can race again. I believe each Pega gets like something like 25 races a day, so it's quite a lot. So hopefully you'll be able to earn, you know, a decent amount of vis throughout this time. And that is another thing, even though there's no vis in the game right from the start, you will be earning it during that initial 2-week period. So then by the end of the breeding event, by the end of the 2-week period, everyone that has played and has won some of these matches or placed top 3 will have a certain amount of vis rewarded, and they'll be able to use that for breeding in the future and stuff. Okay, so this is how it's going to look. They're not even going to have the gear and stuff implemented initially. So it's literally just going to be a pretty basic 2D random roll of the dice sort of racer to begin with, and then as the game develops, that's when they're going to be implementing, you know, 3D racing, player controlled attack and defense tools, and it's going to be based on the actual player skill as well as the stats of the Pega, and you're going to be able to adjust the stats of the Pega with the gear that you can equip them with. So there's a whole lot of utility and, like, you know, and strategy and skill coming to it, but initially it's going to be just kind of RNG. So just to give you, you know, let you know that sort of expectation up front, so that you guys aren't like, oh, what the heck, I thought this was, you know, something else. But so that's what it's going to be like initially. Either way though, I'm super excited for this game to launch. I'm so pumped to take, you know, full advantage of the breeding event and all this stuff, and to see, you know, PGX just continue to rock it. But let me know, what are your guys' thoughts? How are you guys feeling about Pegaxy? Let me know what you were able to scoop up, if you were able to get some Pegas. If you know, just let me know your thoughts. I'm super excited about this game. I can't wait for the launch of it, and I hope you guys are ready for it too. If you're thinking about, you know, getting a thing on the secondary market, a Pega on the market or something, let me know about that too. If you like this video, make sure you smash the thumbs up, make sure you're subscribed, and you turn those notifications on so you never miss these updates and videos on the best play to earn NFT games and new metaverse projects. We are putting out content all the time, so you don't want to miss it. We do giveaways and stuff on the channel as well. If you're, you know, active, you're participating, you're gonna get a chance to, you know, win some free NFTs, some coins, you know, some access to IDOs and all that sort of stuff. So make sure you're subscribed, you're paying attention, and all that good stuff. I appreciate all of you for watching. I'm super pumped for Pegaxy. Let's go. One last thing I almost forgot. I can't believe it. Big shout out to all the latest subscribers to the channel. Thank you guys so much. Welcome to Six Pack Gaming. I'm gonna try to rip through these as quick as possible. Opera, Imran, Bimski, Tiago, Joseph, ML, DeFi, Kim, Ram, Joshua, Manuel, Cone, Allison, Leonardo, Matthias, Debo, Alexandra, Jomiel, Takia, Marcel, Emmanuel, Marat, Zed, Jayesh, Howes, Jocelyn, and Trevor. I'm sorry for those that I butchered your names, but I do appreciate you. Welcome to Six Pack Gaming. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the sub. And that is all for now. Until next time, train hard, game hard, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out, everyone.